All right, welcome back, and it's time for us to get into the tech segment. Now, today we're going to be having a conversation about tech shopping options for men this festive season. Philip Ashon, who is the host of Citi Trends on 97.3 Citi FM and also the head of production here at Citi TV, has joined us, and he's going to get us into this conversation. Good morning, Philip.
Thank you so much.
How you doing?
I'm doing very well. It's Christmas.
You're looking very
Christmas.
alive.
It's Christmas.
Fiery.
It's Christmas. We have to be alive. If you have seen today in your life, you have to be very, very grateful wherever you are.
I agree with you.
Because 100%. It's been a very torrid year.
Yeah.
And I think some people have even forgotten that there's Christmas.
Yeah.
I think some people have gotten the whole Christmas mood and feeling out of their system. But I think there's a lot to be grateful for. And I'm starting off with the guys because the guys don't get enough presents.
I know, right?
It is usually a handkerchief or a pair of cufflinks.
Yeah.
Or
and it's the same thing, and then you know, some.
And if you get
one
lucky,
pack of
if you
boxes.
get lucky, you might get a pair of boxes. Usually it is three. You never get a 5. You always get a 3. If you're really, really, really good, very, very good, you might get a watch. But it might not be the watch that you're looking for. But it's okay. It's okay.
Take it like that.
It's okay. You take it like that. So I just want to put out a couple of options if you're thinking about it. But it's not just the options that's important. It's also about thinking about the person who you're going to gift it to.
Okay.
And I think that's the first thing I want to touch on. Before you consider any tech gift for anybody, you have to know the person. You have to know what the person typically does with their day before you buy them a tech gift. Because the thing about a tech gift is, it's usually, like I always say, it's an extension of the person. If it's a mobile device and they've always used an Android and all of a sudden you buy them an iPhone, it will take them some time to get adjusted to it. They might love it, but they might not use it the way, typically you'd expect them to use it. If, for example, you buy them a camera and they don't like taking pictures, it might be a nice present, but it really wouldn't make any difference. Exactly. So you need to know the person you're going to give this tech gift to, and then decide on how it fits into their life. I think that most guys, speaking as a guy, would appreciate it better and will find it more thoughtful if you consider what they typically do with themselves on a daily basis before you buy a tech gift for them. And so the very first one that I think people should consider is getting themselves, or the male people or the males in their lives, a shaver.
Okay.
It can be something for clean shaves. It can be something for trimmings. It can be whatever. But I think the very first that you should consider is a shaver.
Okay.
Obviously, because it's COVID, you want to keep safe, and I would always suggest that you go for a wireless shave, especially for someone who's going to use at home if the person doesn't typically go to a barbering shop or something. So these are some of the options that you can see on the screen. These are some of the options that are available in the market. There are various brands. There's Philips, Remington, quite a number of brands out there. There are some that are for complete clean shaves. There are some that are for trimmings and things like that. Some of these also come with extra heads. So you can just replace the head and change, and then it can give you some options. So for me, I think one of the first things, and considering the COVID, considering the health implications, considering all of that, the convenience, you would want your partner or the guy to probably spend more time at home. And this is a present for both husbands and boyfriends or whatever. Also, male friend in the office if you're looking for an option, or if there's someone in the office that you seriously think deserves a shave. This is a perfect gift for them. It is very cost effective when you think about the long term and everything. When you think about the possibility of them contracting COVID at some point in time, this is a very, very good option for any guy. Any guy at all who is in your life, whether it's your husband, your boyfriend, or your brother, whichever one it is. I think this is a worthwhile gift. And I always suggest that go for the wireless option, because then it gives them more freedom and more convenience, especially when you're using it. If you cannot find a wireless option, a wired one is great. And there are quite a number of very, very good options out there. But please don't go for cheap, because cheap can have its own implications. I'm not saying go for the most expensive, but just know that, like, if you go to a shop and they're telling you that the shaver is 50 cedis, you kind of have to question that. Like, it's not the very best kind.
For just one day.
You know, and then it just goes bonkers, and then all of a sudden it starts making weird noises. It can electrocute the person who's using it.
Right?
Don't do that. Like, on average, consider spending between 200 and 500. That's a fair pricing range for a shaver, depending on the size and things like that. So anything between 150, 200 and 500 is a very good margin to work within if you're considering buying a shaver. Anything below 50 cedis or up to 50 cedis is kind of question. Unless it's a blade, you know, and you
maybe one of those low tech.
Low
tech.
You know. But like I said, I will always go for a wireless shaver. I think it works really, really well. And you saw some of the options there on the screen. The second one is kind of departing a little from, you know, the whole grooming thing, because we like, you know, we like to look good. The second one, actually, it depends on the person. Once again, it's a smart speaker.
Okay.
Now, typically, you would have a smart speaker in the house, you know, connected with the phone. You can use either Alexa or you know, all these other options available. There is Alexa, there is Google, you know, there is Apple Pod, all these other options, and you can see some of the options there. So there are two.
So that's the Apple Pod.
Yeah, there are two levels. That's the Apple Pod. There are two levels that I want to talk about. There is these smart speakers, and just pause on this one. So these are smart speaker options. You know, we have some from Amazon, the Amazon Echo over there. We have some from Apple, the Apple HomePod, and Sonos One as well. So there are quite a number of them out there. Now, the whole point of a smart speaker is to have a smart assistant around you to either play music or whatever. So sometimes you typically connect your phone to it, or you connect it to the wireless in your home, and then it does quite a number of things. It's not for everybody. That is the truth. So it is not a device for everybody. If the person you're buying it for doesn't have wireless internet at home, it is pointless, because it needs the internet to function and give you, you know, its full effect. I mean, it's a smart speaker, so you can connect your phone to it and play music, but then really, you know, if you don't have internet, or the person doesn't have internet, I will advise that you don't bother buying it for the person.
A Bluetooth speaker is okay.
A Bluetooth speaker is okay. But then if you want to get a smart speaker, which is the next level of it, then you have to ensure that the person actually does have access to internet in their home. For example, you know, Siri can't function without internet. So then if you buy this, the only thing you'll probably be doing for the person is giving them another speaker that they're going to have in their house. And that's why you don't need to spend that much money on this. It's a Bluetooth speaker can handle that. So if you're thinking about a smart speaker, then do consider the person. Make sure the person has access to, you know, Wi-Fi at home. You know, they buy bundles. They don't buy like 10 CD and those things. Like, make sure they have access to data. Otherwise, truthfully, there is no point to it. You know, so that's that's the caveat mainly if it comes to smart speakers. Now, we saw there a pair of wireless earphones. Those are the Galaxy Buds from Samsung. Now, the thing is, the reason why I leave this in it is because it is a smart device in its own way. You know, you can connect with Google and things like that. Exactly. I'm sure some of you already have it. But listen, like, and I bunch it in with the smart speaker family because it's sort of like a smart speaker in your ear almost. You know, you can pick calls. You can connect with your assistants, your smart assistants, whether it's Google or whichever. You can easily do all of that right in your ear, as against a wireless speaker that is sitting at home or something like, or sitting in your office or something like that. Now, the really cool thing about smart speakers and some of these wireless, you know, options is that, for example, if you're sitting in your office, I mean, in the office, you most likely will have access to, you know, internet or Wi-Fi. So you can have the benefits of it. You can have the benefits of Alexa, for example, scheduling your meetings, where you just basically speak to Alexa and it schedules your meetings, or you can talk to Siri, whichever one it is. For me, the best performing smart speakers are the ones that come with Alexa enabled. It's so far proven to be one of the best. Google is kind of second. Siri is a little behind, but hopefully it might catch up in some years to come. But for me, I just feel that look at the person's life. If they have access to internet, consider a smart speaker for them. If they don't have access to internet like on a daily basis and things like that, you can then consider getting them a pair of wireless earphones.
Yeah.
And you saw a couple of options there. So it can be the Galaxy Buds, or you can get them the Apple AirPods or the AirPod Pro or whichever one. There are a number of really cool wireless headsets available on the market, and there are options available for you, so you're not necessarily tied down in terms of options. So I've given at least 2 categories. People who have access to Wi-Fi on a daily basis, you can get them a smart speaker, whether they're going to use it in their office, they're going to use at home, whichever space they feel comfortable, they can use it. And then you have someone who doesn't necessarily have access to too much data on a daily basis. You can get them a wireless headset, and then that also gives them some options, so at least you have, some options to play with. Now we get on to, like I said, wireless earphones. So we're done with the wireless earphone family. Now we're getting to the other gift option that people can consider, and that's a smart TV.
Okay.
I understand, especially for the married people, I completely understand that the TV is a family thing. But depending on the kind of TV you buy, guys have a certain affinity and connection to the TV. Like, I mean, if you buy a smart 4K TV, for example, like the way we like most guys will connect to the TV, spend time learning about it for the benefit of the entire family, it will surprise you. It will really surprise you. So, for example, I'm currently reviewing the Samsung 65-inch Q85 television. Incredible television. Wow. And for me, I think a smart TV is a great option to consider because of streaming services. Because of streaming services. Because, I mean, think about it. If you have a 4K television, and currently in Ghana, we are still pushing, I mean, the regulator is still pushing 720p in terms of resolution. You're not necessarily going to get the most amazing pictures. Even on DSTV, some of the channels are HD. Most of them are still standard definition anyway. But then the streaming services, depending on the amount of data that you're going to use, you're going to have unlimited, HD quality if and when you choose to have it. You're going to have unlimited amounts of content to watch. Look, it is so beneficial. Speaking as a parent, right now, I mean, kids get the chance to watch their YouTube Kids if you want, or their videos. Netflix, you can create an account for them and give them access to the kids' content. And you're okay if that is the route that you want to use. So for me, I think one of the most beneficial things you can consider getting a guy is a smart television. Now, most of them will now come with Netflix connected. It will have AirPlay connected, so in case you have an iPhone or whatever, you can just connect and you go along. Some of these that we can see here already come enabled with Netflix, Prime Video, YouTube, even connection with Facebook and things like that, Apple TV. All these options are available for people who want to, and I think that it's a very good option. Eventually, it will benefit everybody in the house. So listen, if you are looking at switching, please consider switching to a smart TV, one that comes with all of these enabled, and just enjoy, because quite frankly, the future is streaming. If you don't have a TV that's able to stream content, you are kind of going to be, I mean, not necessarily fall behind, but there's just so much you're going to miss out on. I mean, there's only so much Home Alone you can watch every Christmas. So, I mean, there are options out there.
Miracle on 34th Street.
Exactly. So these streaming services are available, but if you have access to a smart TV, you can easily, connect to any of these services, and you're good to go. And so I mean, those are the options. Now, the very final gift option that I want to touch on, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody, but it is a nice gift to have, and it's a PlayStation 5.
Oh,
it's a PS5.
You didn't go there.
It's a PS5. Listen, like, I mean, quite a number of guys, might not necessarily, connect with a game console at this time of their life. They're probably thinking about, January, kids going to school and things like that. But listen, if you know your man, and you know that your man loves consoles, if you know that your brother loves consoles, if you know your husband enjoys going to his boys and they play video games, this
a great
is by
gift.
far one of the best options you can find for him. I mean, there's an Xbox as well that you might consider, but this is cool because imagine it's Christmas and his boys come over and like they all sit around and
I mean, it's all the rave right now.
Charlie, it is the biggest thing. Just make sure you get an extra controller because one controller just won't cut it. So just get an extra controller with it, and then just allow him to just get into his mood.
Yeah.
It's a great device to have. It's a powerful device to have. If you get this, for example, you can do all your streaming and everything on it. It's a very, very smart device. It offers so much. It's not just a gaming console. It's quite a number of things in one. If you don't have access, for example, like your TV is not necessarily a smart TV in that sense, you can use this as a way of getting your
The same
Netflixes
kind of services,
and things like that all through the gaming
Okay.
console. So you do have quite a number of options with the PlayStation 5. And yeah, it does look cool. So hey, who doesn't like cool looking stuff? If on Christmas morning, he opens his box and this is what's staring at him, hey, I mean, I'm just saying. Hint to Mrs. Ashon. So yeah, those are the options I think. I mean, next week we'll be looking at some options for women. I've been talking to some of the ladies in the house to figure out what exactly they would like for Christmas. So just to see what falls within the tech space. But look, apart from these, there are quite a number of things out there within the tech space that you can get for your beloved, whether it's a boyfriend or a husband or a brother, a colleague at work. There's so many other options available. But for me, these are the things that, intrigue me. Some of them do come at a pretty high price point, but then some of them are pretty easy to get as well. You don't need to necessarily sweat it. Some of the smart TVs, like the 50 inches and the 45 inches smart TVs that are out there, some of them are going for like 2,005 or 1,005 and things like that. So some very pretty good prices. You don't need to break the bank necessarily to get some of these smart televisions out there. Yes, I mean the gaming console, yes, we know it's just came out, so obviously the price point is really, really high. Some you can consider getting mobile devices as well. But then, hey, look at the person's life once again. What kind of mobile device do they use on a typical day? What makes them happy? Is there an iPhone? Have they used an iPhone before? Ask yourself some of these basic questions about the person who's going to use the device before you make a purchasing decision. Because it might be a nice thing to give them a PS5. But then if they don't have the space in their life to play the console games, then what really is the point of them having it? So think about the person you're going to give the gift to. Think about what they do on a typical day, and consider what is available out there, and then just go for it. But then hey, you can send us your questions if you have any as well. Let us know if you have any questions about the gift that you're going to get, and then let's get vibing so you can get the best one.
Absolutely. And just a quick one before you leave us. I'm looking at the PS5 and I'm also looking at the smart TV. This is guaranteed if it's it's for the person and the person really appreciates it. It's guaranteed to keep them home many more hours. Now, when you do that, right? There's also this whole thing about hogging the TV and making it's like everybody wants to watch the TV, but you've taken the TV.
Yeah, so get him.
So how do we
get
deal with
him a
this?
smart TV and a PS5, and then give him a room to enjoy. But listen, most guys get home, and if there's TLC showing on the TV, you can't get to watch it. If the kids are watching Peppa Pig, there is no way you're going to switch off Peppa Pig because it's just not going to happen.
They're not going to allow you.
There are moments when you can get a TV to yourself. There are obviously times when you will hog up the TV space. But if you don't want him to hog up the TV space, get him a TV and get him a PS5 and so you can also enjoy. You can enjoy in your own little space. But it's all about the budget. It's all about the conveniences. It's all about what's available to you. But like I always keep saying, look at the person's life. Look at what fits into their life. Don't just buy a device
for buying sake.
If they don't use it, you might feel offended because you've thought about them and you bought them something. But then think about their life. Think about how the device is going to fit into their life, and then buy it. just think about them before you make that purchasing decision, because there's no point in getting a gift that someone is not going to use.
Okay.
I mean, there's just no point.
All right, thank you so much. This Philip Kofi Ashon has been helping us to understand some of the things that we can, the way to approach getting a gift, a tech gift for the man in your life. Philip Kofi Ashon is the host of Citi Trends on 97.3 Citi FM and also the head of production here at Citi TV. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't go anywhere.